Hey warrior, the one who's tired of pretending to be okay. Yeah, I'm talking to the version of you that shows up for others, but collapses in private. You keep telling yourself you'll do better next time. Stay calm, set boundaries, stay disciplined. But then it happens again. One trigger and you explode. One rejection and you spiral. One failure and you shrink. And every time you're left wondering, why can't I control myself? Most people wake up and immediately hand over their peace to the world. One message ruins their day. One person's judgment crushes their confidence. One failure ends their motivation. This is how the average person lives, like a puppet pulled by invisible strings they never question. But the Stoics, they lived differently. They trained their minds like warriors. To them, the real battle wasn't on the battlefield. It was inside. Their enemy wasn't other people. It was their own uncontrolled desires, fears, and impulses. Epictetus, a slave-turned-philosopher, taught that freedom is not found in changing the world, but in mastering your response to it. If someone insulted him, he didn't explode. If he lost something, he didn't collapse. Because he knew the one thing no one could ever take from him, his mindset. And this is where your power begins. The reason your emotions own you is because no one taught you how to stand guard at the gate of your mind. No one told you that being calm in chaos is a skill, that being silent when you want to scream is strength, that walking away when your pride is triggered is victory. The Stoics did, and they left behind brutal, clear, practical wisdom for mastering yourself, not in theory, but in real, emotional, everyday situations. This video is not about sounding wise. It's not about cold philosophy or memorizing quotes. It's about becoming the kind of person who is unshakable, even in the face of disrespect, betrayal, failure, and chaos. So, I want you to lock in right now. Turn off distractions, open your mind, and let's go deep. Because each of these 8 brutal Stoic truths will break a part of your weakness and show you how to replace it with real power. And some of them might hurt, but that's exactly why they work. And by the end of this video, you will have the exact mental tools to start walking through the world with Stoic dominance, the kind that doesn't shout but is felt the moment you enter a room. So, before we dive in, I want you to drop this affirmation in the comments. I refuse to be a slave to my emotions. Let's begin. Number 1. Train your emotions before they train you. If you are distressed by anything external, the pain is not due to the thing itself, but to your estimate of it. And this you have the power to revoke at any moment. Marcus Aurelius. Most people believe their emotions are facts. They feel anger, so they lash out. They feel fear, so they avoid. They feel rejected, so they overthink, chase, or collapse into depression. But Stoicism teaches you this. Your emotions are not instructions. They are signals. And if you let them lead you, they'll train you to be weak, reactive, and unstable. But if you train them, you become untouchable. Imagine you're insulted. Your pride gets triggered. You feel heat in your chest. Your heart rate spikes. You want to fight back, prove your worth, argue. That's the emotion trying to lead you like a dog on a leash. Now imagine stopping. You observe that heat. You name the emotion. You pause. You ask, is this worthy of my energy? You walk away. You don't become passive. You become powerful. This is what Marcus Aurelius did when his enemies attacked him. He didn't return insult for insult. He controlled his reaction. Because he knew the real victory wasn't outside, it was keeping his peace inside. In today's world, we're constantly exposed to emotional triggers, social media comparison, disrespect in relationships, losses, rejections, and daily stress. And if you don't deliberately train your response, the world will train you to be miserable. Training your emotions means this: you pause before reacting. You observe before judging. You respond with purpose, not impulse. This doesn't mean you don't feel. It means you don't become what you feel. And it starts small. Next time someone disrespects you, don't respond immediately. Let silence do the talking. Let stillness be your reply. That silence will shake them more than anger ever could. Because the real alpha energy, it's not loud, it's not aggressive. It's that quiet control when you could explode, but you choose not to. The modern world respects that. Because deep down, everyone knows the strongest person in the room is not the one making noise. It's the one holding power. Practice this every day. Your mind is like a muscle, and every time you override a negative emotion with logic and composure, you grow stronger, and eventually, nothing can shake you. And the day you can say, "I felt it, but I didn't act on it," that's the day you've mastered yourself. Number 2, don't react. Observe first, then choose power. We suffer more often in imagination than in reality. Seneca. How many times have you destroyed your own peace because of something you thought someone meant? How many times have you jumped to conclusions, created false stories in your head, and made decisions based on emotions, only to regret it later? This is where most people fail. Something happens, a message, a silence, a rejection, a look, and immediately the mind starts running. They're ignoring me. They don't respect me. I'm not good enough. And that emotional storm, it takes control. But the Stoics taught something brutally powerful. Don't trust the first story your mind tells you. Instead, pause, observe, investigate. Seneca, one of the most profound Stoic minds, said that most of our pain comes not from events, but from how we interpret them. That means your suffering is not always based in reality. It's often a product of your imagination. Let's break this down into something deeply practical. 1. Someone doesn't reply to your message. You assume they're ignoring you or don't care. You spiral. You send another message. You lose dignity. A Stoic would pause and ask, what do I really know? Maybe they're busy. Maybe it's not about me. Maybe I don't need to react right now. 2. You get criticized. Your first instinct is defense. But the Stoic response is different. Is there truth in this? If yes, improve. If no, let it pass. You don't need to fight every battle. 3. Someone disrespects you publicly. Most people lash out. But the wise man stays silent. Not because he's weak, but because he knows reacting gives the other person power. And he refuses to give that away. In every situation, you have 2 choices. React emotionally and regret it. Observe calmly and choose power. Modern society moves fast. Everyone's on edge, everyone's triggered. And because of that, the person who knows how to slow down internally gains the upper hand. This doesn't mean you become cold or detached. It means you become deliberate. Think of your mind like a courtroom. Emotions bring in evidence, but you are the judge, not the prisoner. You don't have to believe every thought. You don't have to act on every emotion. You choose which ones deserve action. Train this habit. Whenever you feel heat rising inside, stop, observe. Don't speak, don't text, don't react. Sit with the discomfort. Let it pass like a wave. Then, and only then, decide what to do. Because once you stop reacting automatically, you stop giving away your power. And that's where true self-mastery begins. Number 3, cut the noise. Your mind is starving for stillness. Nowhere can man find a quieter or more untroubled retreat than in his own soul. Marcus Aurelius. You know why you're anxious all the time? It's not always because of your problems. It's because you never give your mind a chance to breathe. From the moment you wake up, the noise starts. Notifications, scrolling, opinions, music, ads, alerts, demands. And by the time the day ends, your mind has become a battlefield, not because of what happened outside, but because of the chaos you allowed inside. Marcus Aurelius, an emperor leading a world in turmoil, found peace not in luxury, not in distraction, but in retreating into stillness. He'd journal quietly. He'd sit with his thoughts. He'd block out the noise, not because the world was calm, but because he chose to be. This is where Stoicism becomes more than words. It becomes a way to breathe in a world that never shuts up. Look around you. Everyone is addicted to stimulation. Silence scares them. Stillness makes them uncomfortable. So they run into entertainment, gossip, mindless scrolling, anything to avoid themselves. But the Stoic? He runs the other way, into stillness, into silence, into reflection, because he knows clarity is born in quiet. You want to master yourself. You need space to hear yourself. Here's what to do. 1. Create daily stillness, even 10 minutes. No phone, no sound, just you and your thoughts. Sit, breathe, let the dust settle. 2. Start journaling, not fancy words, just honest reflection. What did I do today? What triggered me? What did I avoid? Marcus Aurelius did this every day. His journal became Meditations, one of the greatest works in philosophy. 3. Protect your mental space like a fortress. That means being ruthless about what you consume. You don't need to know everything. You don't need to be available to everyone. Say no more often. Unfollow noise. You see, your mind is not a trash bin for the world's junk. It's a temple, and like any sacred place, it needs to be cleaned, maintained, and protected. Stillness is where you meet yourself, where you face your fears, where you stop lying to yourself. It's not always comfortable, but it's always powerful. And in that space you realize you don't need more advice. You need more awareness. And awareness only comes when you turn down the volume on everything else. Don't be afraid of silence. That's where transformation begins. I want you to drop this affirmation in the comments. I protect my peace. Silence is my strength. Number 4, stop explaining yourself. Power doesn't chase understanding. Don't explain your philosophy. Embody it. Epictetus. Most people are trapped in a silent addiction. The need to be understood. They explain their intentions. They justify their boundaries. They defend their silence. They over-explain their actions just to feel validated, not because they're wrong, but because they're afraid of how they'll be perceived. This is emotional slavery. You see, when you constantly explain yourself, you give your power away. You invite people to judge you, to dissect you, to approve or disapprove, and you base your self-worth on their response. That's not strength. That's insecurity wearing a polite mask. Epictetus taught a higher way. Live your truth, but don't beg others to accept it. Speak through action. Let your character be so solid it doesn't require a defense. Because the moment you start chasing understanding, you start walking away from yourself. Imagine a lion explaining to sheep why it hunts. Imagine a mountain apologizing for standing tall. They don't, because their existence alone justifies their power, and so should yours. Here's what happens when you stop explaining. 1. You stop being drained by people who were never meant to understand you. 2. You start moving with quiet confidence instead of loud desperation. 3. You begin to trust your decisions, even if others don't. But here's the part most won't tell you. This path is lonely. You will be misunderstood. People will misread your silence. They'll label your confidence as arrogance. They'll twist your distance into hostility. And you must learn to live with that. Because self-mastery means choosing inner peace over public approval. Think about this. How many times have you watered yourself down just to avoid being seen as too much? How many times have you stayed silent, then felt guilty, and started explaining just to keep others comfortable? That's over. You owe the world authenticity, not explanations. The Stoics believed that true strength is quiet, not because it hides, but because it no longer needs permission to exist. So let your silence do the talking. Let your results speak. Let your values become obvious without a single word. And when people question you, don't flinch. The ones who matter will understand you without a paragraph. The rest, let them go. Your time is too valuable. Your energy is too sacred. Your purpose is too important to spend explaining things to those who are not ready to receive them. Walk forward, speak less, move with quiet fire. Number 5. Let people go. Mastery means releasing dead weight. He is a wise man who does not grieve for the things which he has not, but rejoices for those which he has. Epictetus. People change. Connections fade. Some relationships die slowly while others are ripped away. And every time it happens, there's that pain, that pull to hold on, to fix, to understand why someone walked away or stopped treating you the same. But here's a brutal Stoic truth. If something can leave your life, let it. Don't beg. Don't chase. Don't force. Let it go with dignity. Epictetus reminds us, you don't own people, you experience them. And some people come into your life not to stay, but to teach you how strong you can be when they're gone. You see, when we attach our identity to others, we lose ourselves. We become dependent on their validation, their love, their presence, and when they disappear, we feel empty, broken, lost. But that feeling, it's not about them. It's about the parts of ourselves we handed over without boundaries. Stoicism calls us back to ourselves. It teaches what's meant for you can never be taken, and what can be taken was never truly yours. This doesn't mean you become cold. It means you become conscious. You give your love fully, but not blindly. You give your energy freely, but not endlessly. And when the time comes, you release what no longer serves your growth, without bitterness, without revenge, without clinging. Letting go is not weakness, it's clarity. You don't need closure, you need discipline. You don't need answers, you need acceptance. You don't need them back, you need you, whole, healed, focused, rising. And the moment you stop grieving lost connections and start reclaiming lost pieces of yourself, everything changes. Let go of the people who made you feel like you had to shrink to be loved. The relationships where respect was always one-sided. The friendships that died the moment you needed something real. And most of all, let go of the old version of yourself who tolerated it. Because self-mastery means choosing yourself, even when it hurts. So, if someone's drifting away, don't chase. Let the silence speak. If someone disrespects you, don't argue. Let your absence echo. And if something leaves your life, let it go. With strength, with peace, and with the deep knowing that nothing real ever leaves. Number 6. Discipline is the real freedom. Build routines like a warrior. No man is free who is not master of himself. Epictetus. Here's a painful truth. Most people think freedom means doing whatever they want, whenever they want. Sleep late, eat what they crave, skip hard things, delay growth, and they call it freedom. But the Stoics knew the opposite. True freedom is not in doing what you want. It's in being in control of your wants. Imagine waking up early not because you have to, but because you've trained your mind to serve your goals. Imagine doing the difficult thing, the workout, the reading, the uncomfortable conversation. Even when you don't feel like it, That's discipline, that's control, and that is freedom. Because the man who cannot say no to his impulses is not free. He's a slave to laziness, to emotion, to distraction. The Stoics were warriors of the mind. Their daily routines weren't built on motivation. They were built on choice. And choice, repeated, becomes a pattern. That pattern becomes identity. Marcus Aurelius ruled an empire, but he still wrote in his journal every morning. He still reflected, still worked, still held himself accountable. Why? Because no matter how powerful you are nothing without structure. You say you want self-mastery, then prove it in your schedule. Here's how. 1. Create a sacred morning ritual, not for show, not for social media, just for you. Wake up, sit in silence, read something that sharpens your mind, move your body, write your thoughts. Do it daily. 2. Build your day around your values, not your feelings. Most people wake up and ask, "What do I feel like doing?" You ask, "What must be done?" Then you do it, with focus. 3rd, track your behavior like a Stoic. Epictetus and Seneca believed in reflection. At the end of your day, ask, "Where did I waste time? When did I react emotionally? What can I improve tomorrow?" Discipline is brutal in the beginning. It doesn't reward you with comfort. It rewards you with confidence. You start to trust yourself because you no longer let laziness, fear, or distraction guide your day. You move with purpose. You choose discomfort now for strength later. And the world? It notices. People feel your focus. Your reputation changes. Your presence sharpens. You begin to carry the energy of someone who doesn't fold when things get tough because you train for discomfort every day. Start small. Set one rule. Keep it. Wake up at the same time. Stretch for 10 minutes. Read one page. Clean your space. But do it every single day, not just when you feel like it. Discipline is not about being hard on yourself. It's about building something inside that's stronger than your excuses. Because if you don't train yourself, life will do it for you. Through failure, regret, and lost potential. And you don't want that. I want you to drop this affirmation in the comments. I am not led by comfort. I choose discipline. Number 7. Master the art of detachment. Love without losing yourself. It is impossible that happiness and yearning for what is not present should ever be united. Epictetus. We all want connection. We all want love, admiration, respect. That's natural. But here's what most people get wrong. They tie their identity to those things. They don't just want it, they become dependent on it. And when it's taken away, they fall apart. The Stoics warned us against this attachment. Epictetus said that anything external, relationships, money, status, approval, is out of your control. And the more you depend on it, the more you give it power over your peace. Detachment isn't about becoming cold. It's about becoming anchored. It means you can love someone fully and still survive if they leave. You can enjoy success deeply and still stand tall if it disappears. It means you feel, but you're not ruled by what you feel. Let's say you're in love, deeply. That's beautiful. But if that love becomes your identity, if their mood controls your mood, if their distance breaks you, if their attention defines your self-worth, then you're no longer loving, you're clinging. That's not mastery, that's dependence. The Stoic approach is different. You love fully, you give freely. But in the back of your mind, you whisper to yourself, this is a gift, not a guarantee. And because of that, you stay balanced, you remain rooted. So how do you practice detachment? 1. Remind yourself daily, nothing is permanent. Not relationships, not emotions, not situations. Enjoy it, but don't need it. 2. Ask, what will I do if this is taken from me? If the answer is collapse, you've given it too much power. Third, hold space, not control. Let people be who they are. Let situations unfold. Influence what you can. Release the rest. You'll find that when you stop clinging, people respect you more. They feel your self-containment. You become harder to manipulate, harder to break, harder to emotionally enslave. And that's what Stoic detachment gives you. Freedom with love, not fear. Strength in connection, not anxiety. Number 8. Embrace voluntary hardship. Train in peace. Dominate in chaos. Set aside a certain number of days during which you shall be content with the scantiest and cheapest fare, and say to yourself the while, "Is this the condition that I feared?" Seneca. Comfort is killing you, slowly, quietly, in ways you don't even notice. The modern world is built to make your life easier. Fast food, entertainment at your fingertips, distractions on demand. But here's the truth the Stoics knew. A soft life builds a soft mind, and when real difficulty hits, and it always does, you'll break if you've never practiced strength. Seneca believed in voluntary discomfort, not because he hated pleasure, but because he didn't want to become addicted to it. Once a month, he'd live like he had nothing, eat little, sleep on the ground, wear the roughest clothes. He did this to train his spirit, so that when real hardship came, he could laugh in its face. The goal isn't to suffer, it's to strip away fear. You fear going broke? Try living on less. You fear loneliness? Try silence. You fear being ignored? Embrace solitude. You fear judgment? Spend time away from praise. When you face your fears deliberately, they shrink. Here's how to apply this. 1. Once a week, deny yourself something easy. Don't order food. Cook something simple. Walk instead of drive. Turn your phone off for a whole day. Inconvenience yourself and watch your strength grow. 2. Set comfort boundaries. Sleep with less comfort. Sit in stillness. Delay gratification. Make it a habit to not get what you want and be completely fine. 3. Use challenges as training, not punishment. Bad day? Good. More reps. Rejection? Good. Sharpen your mind. Lost someone? Good. Learn detachment. When life hits, say, "I've been preparing for this." The Stoics weren't born unshakable, they trained for it, and so can you. You don't build self-mastery by avoiding pain. You build it by meeting it with open eyes and saying, "I am stronger than this." Because here's the truth, you can't control everything that happens to you, but you can absolutely control how ready you are when it does. I want you to drop this affirmation in the comments. I train in discomfort. Nothing can break me. It is not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste a lot of it. Seneca. You've just walked through 8 brutal truths, not surface-level advice, not motivational fluff, but real ancient Stoic tools, forged in hardship, tested in history, and still powerful in today's chaotic world. You've learned how to control your emotions, move in silence, protect your peace, and let go of what weighs you down. You've seen how detachment, discipline, and discomfort shape you into something rare, a person who doesn't just look strong, but is strong at the core. And the best part? This isn't reserved for emperors or philosophers. It's for you, right here, right now. You don't need a perfect past. You don't need motivation every day. You don't need permission. What you need is practice, repetition, awareness, and the courage to live differently, to step away from the world's noise and start building your inner fortress. Start small, revisit one lesson daily, journal your reactions, sit with your discomfort, and keep coming back to this question: am I being ruled by emotion or guided by wisdom? That question alone will start to change everything. So, if this message hits something inside you, don't just scroll on. Let it move you to action. because wisdom without action is wasted. Like this video, comment your thoughts, share with someone who needs to rise, and subscribe to the channel. If you're serious about becoming someone the world can't shake. And now, take a deep breath. You're no longer reacting. You're no longer explaining. You're no longer chasing comfort. You are mastering yourself, like a Stoic. I want you to drop this final affirmation in the comments. I walk through this world with quiet strength.